Hello, and welcome back to the Druidic Stormcloud channel, where today I'll be playing some Final Fantasy XIV. I hope you're excited because I am, and I hope you enjoyed the stream because we're diving into, that's right, the Red Mage job quests that we have been putting off for so long. We have Red Mage at level 60, and we're going to be going through as much of their job quests as we can. When I'm off screen, I will be leveling up Red Mage and some other jobs to try and make sure that I can get through their storylines as well. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. So bear with me just a moment. This is our current equipment set with no ties to Red Mage specifically, except for the weapon. And we are going to randomize our minion, who is still our Guardian friend from last time. And it's a baby chocobo. The random mount is the unicorn. And we're going to go over there. How fares your training, my friend? I imagine you have grown quite accustomed to the shift between spellcraft and swordplay by now. I will continue to instruct you, but as I have said before, a practical experience will serve you far better than any tiresome lecture. It is important that you treat every battle as an opportunity to learn. Speaking of which, Father Iliod mentioned that he had something he wished to discuss regarding our sigil-branded ambushers. Let's head inside, shall we? I am ashamed that that did not occur to me earlier, but I recall an incident that may be connected to this dreadful cult. A merchant's son was kidnapped in Ul'dah some moons ago. When the merchant came to pay the ransom, however, both father and child were murdered. The perpetrators of this terrible act were never unmasked, but evidence at the scene suggests the two were slain by thaumaturgy. What is more, this merchant was a native of Alamigo. Is this not also true of the father of the girls you rescued? Aye, he is Alamigan born, a man by the name of Wilkin. So his wife told me. Could he have been the true target? Okay, this is annoying. Could he have been the true target of the kidnappers? We must speak with Master Wilkin at once. There are too many similarities in these cases to ignore. And I would not put it past this cult to make a direct attempt on his life. In anticipation of such action, I inquired after Master Wilkin's trading itinerary. It seems he is presently conducting business at the Manderville Gold Saucer, delivering stock for game prizes or some such. Very resourceful of you, Father. Thank you. Come, Kiara, the gold saucer awaits. And the only way to get to the gold saucer is by airship. Sorry, I had to type something real quick. I send out my go live notifications via Discord. My Twitter or X account is not active enough to warrant anything. And we need to go to the airship. Okay, so the gold saucer doesn't cost money to get to. My apologies, Kara. I neglected to ask if you were a patron of these halls. But we are here now, and Master Willikin is still occupied with his trade. I'm tempted to eavesdrop on his dealings to learn what manner of man we are saving. Let us play the part of happy gamblers and wander by his meeting in the Manderville Lounge. Just look for the wonderfully hideous golden statue. Mandervilles. Mandervilles are everywhere. There's our Master Willikin. Well, thank you again. We'll make the most of this gift, I promise you. Back straight and head up now, lad. Our folk will become suspicious. You have done not wrong. Besides, the coin is fair gotten and freely given. The young man he was talking to, he is known to me. One of the lads belonging to the Alamegan resistance, if I'm not mistaken. Well, this is clearly more than some simple business deal, but why waste time on suppositions when we can speak to the merchant himself, eh? Mr. Sciara and Master Mage, glad I am for this chance to thank you in person for the kindness you shown my daughters. Father Iliud sent word to expect you. He also mentioned that the danger to my family is not yet past. Do you suspect I have been marked for assassination? Have you any idea of the why? Say, retaliation for funneling funds to the Alamegan resistance under the guise of standard business dealings? I thought as much. I recognized your client as one of the young freedom fighters I'd seen in Girabanya. Oh, rest assured that your secrets are safe with us. I myself have spent the better part of my life aiding the resistance. Your dealings do, however, seem to have drawn some rather unpleasant attention. Very well. You saved my children's lives, and so I will trust you with the truth. Many Alamegan refugees are employed here at the Golden Saucer, or Gold Saucer, in no small part due to the wishes of the establishment's owner, Lord Godbert Manderville. Several of these employees have direct ties to the resistance, the young man you saw being one such conduit. As to why I meet them here, well, it is a matter of hiding the trees within the forest. There was another incident not so long ago where a son of an Alamegan-born merchant was kidnapped by a cadre of mages. When the father attempted to pay the ransom, the fiends slew both parent and child. I fear this scenario was one they hoped to repeat with you. Yes, a terrible turn of events that was. I did not know the merchant personally, but I knew of his efforts. He, too, was said to have supported the resistance with the fortune he made in Ul'dah. And there we have our connection. They seek to eradicate the resistance sympathizers. I sense the hand of the Empire behind this cabal. But the assassins themselves favor magic, so they are unlikely to be native Garleans. The puppeteer could very well be a hired killer, or mayhap a recruit from a subjugated province. We shall learn the truth in due time. For now, however, we must take steps to keep you alive. Lord Manderville is a member of the syndicate. The Gold Saucer is his domain. Striking a here would be difficult, to say the least. I do, however, have pressing business to attend to in Vesper Bay in the coming days. Vesper Bay, given its peculiar approach, I can think of a dozen places from which assassins could stage an ambush. Might you entrust your safety to Kiara and me? Together we will prove more than a match for any ambushers, and it would also afford us greater insight into our foe. You certainly appear capable. I will gladly accept your protection. Then it is settled. Let us travel ahead to Vesper Bay and scout out the area. And then this way to get back to Ulda. Okay, so you do still have to pay guild to go places other than where you were initially. No. Good, you're here. Master Willikin has begun his overland trek from Ulda. Before he left, I asked the good merchant to discuss his travel arrangements with less than his usual discretion. Assuming the assassins have eyes and ears on their target, we can assume they will move or have moved to occupy the most favorable ambush sites. Now, if I were intent on murdering a lone traveler, I would choose one of two options. The first being alleys here in Vesper Bay, and the second being the long, dark tunnel leading into the town. I propose we split up and secure both areas. I will take the back streets, and you can have the old mining shaft. Sweep the tunnel clean of ambushers, then meet me back here when you are sure the route is safe. as to say this portion of it. Defeated their ambush, did you? Well done. As you can see, they had a second group waiting in the wings. Your opponents were the same mute attackers as before, yes? I pity these cursed pawns, but we cannot let mercy stay our hands. They are a little different from the walking dead, and no art can restore them. I did, however, allow one to escape my blade. On purpose, of course. They seemed eager to disengage, so I obliged and limped off towards the coast, but with the wound I gave him, he'll not have fled far. I will track the last assassin to his destination. Pray, remain here and greet Master Willikin. He should be arriving to your secured tunnel any moment now. Ah, Mistress Kiara, here I am, and with nary a scratch on my person. My deepest thanks. You have saved my family, and for that I can never truly repay you, but I must at least try. Pray, take this gift with pray, share this gift with Master Mage. My supplier will be waiting, and so I must take my leave of you. May Nald enrich you and bless your endeavors. We've had a stroke of luck. The man I followed leapt into the sea and was fished out by others in a rowboat. I last saw them making for a merchantman anchored in the bay. Considering the absence of fear, I must assume the one who fled had been commanded to report the outcome of the ambush. If we can identify the ship, then we will be one step closer to unmasking this vile puppeteer. And then we can... Another token from the esteemed Master Willikin. How kind that he seeks to reward us. Ah, and there's a note here as well, addressed to both of us. Ahem. You have my eternal gratitude. Twice now has my life been saved by red mages, and twice by one in particular. Mayhap you remember the day, 20 years ago, when the Crimson Duelists fought to save the life of a child. I remember you, Master Mage, for your scarlet garb was forever etched in my memory. 'Tis a strange feeling to be recognized for a decades-old deed. Had he not known me, would he have been so ready to place his life in our hands, I wonder? Aside from a few wrinkles, I suppose I have changed little in my appearance. I was clothed thus when we worked to evacuate our fellow Alamegans, even as the homeland we knew crumbled around us. But in the end, it is the lives that matter, not the place. Regardless of the circumstance, a red mage must strive to achieve the greatest good. So I have always believed. Our actions are our own reward, but a little acknowledgement does wonders to sustain one's faith, eh? I've asked some friends of mine in the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to keep an eye out for that ship. We should know if the assassins seek to enter any of the major ports. Ah, my Lenoskin contact. Aye, this is... And they are still there. Excellent, thank you. It seems the assassin's merchantman has been spotted sailing into Aleport. Come, we've no time to lose. It's unfortunate that we can't even fly there. I hate going to Lenoska simply because you have to pay money to get in. Depending on the time, this might not take as long as I thought. As such, I will probably, in addition to Red Mage, go through Dark Knight as well. Alright. Alright. After all, the character levels I have are currently at this state. I could go through the level 61s of Black Mage. My apologies for dragging you halfway across the realm, but I did promise you a journey. Now, as for the merchantman, I'm told it is anchored a short distance offshore. We need to know more about the connection between this ship and our foe. They may have simply paid for passage, but there is something about that vessel. I see we wander the port and see what gossip there is to be had. The merchantmen were just sailed in. I don't know buggery about it. Not even the bleeding name. All I know is her crew's about as lively as a cabin full of corpses. It ain't natural. There's a rumor going round that the Yellow Jackets have taken an interest in their dealings, so I'd rather keep me distance or any road. I'm finished answering your questions. Now off with you. Nay, lass. I've not much to tell you about that ship. They say she's a trading vessel, what brings goods from Han, but her crew's a sullen lot. Asking a friendly question about what they was hauling got me naught but a blank stares and silence. That ship's not but trouble. You mark me words. I've mates would swear they've seen her pulling alongside Imperial vessels. Only the gods know what's hiding in that hold of ours. Could be weapons, could be prisoners. Just a bleeding sight of her makes me whiskers twitch. And that is precisely the kind of info we wanted. Were you able to learn aught of interest? Strange crew, mystery cargo, the ship's name unknown. I heard much the same. I'm beginning to think or that our assassins used the vessel as a floating base. With no permanent cargo on land or camp on land, it would certainly be easier to avoid the attention of local forces, and not to mention curious adventurers. Also spoke. To be fair, in many a game, I have in fact wandered into bandit camps without realizing. I also spoke with an acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets, and he confirmed the ship's official status as a trader to and from Han. Even if rumors of her dealings with Garlean agents in open water are rife. As long as the merchants appear to trade within the law, however, officials are reluctant to force their way on board and cause an incident. They've yet to uncover enough evidence, it seems. Well, if a solid reason to investigate is lacking, then mayhap we should help them find one, eh? Let's have ourselves a look in some of the crates on the docks. Just a little innocent curiosity is all. What about you? Dungeon requirement. I've been peeking into the cargo here, but there's one box secured with a lock. Smashing crates open may be taking things a bit far, I'm afraid. He's gonna be a threat. The crate contains cerulean tank of Imperial design. How did your investigations fare? I found a veritable bounty of military supplies. Cerulean tanks, Imperial rations, Imperial insignias on everything. The authorities will be most interested to hear this, I'll wager. What's that you have there? Well, well, dropped by one of the ship's crew members, you say? And I just so happen to have found a most inconveniently locked box. I shall go and relay our findings to the Yellow Jackets. I'm sure you'll think of some use for that key of yours. Where am I? I was sleeping? Or was I sleeping? In a box? What an odd thing for me to do. Don't you remember anything? Of course, Oh, perhaps not. No, wait, I remember something. Arya. That's my name. My name is Arya, I think. Is it? It's a lovely name. Do you think so? Then I suppose it will do for now. And what does a girl call you? Kiara. I'll try to remember that. Thank you for letting me out. What happened here? Is aught amiss? This last was inside the box. I might suspect a stowaway, but it was more likely she was kidnapped. The people who took you may be lurking nearby. We should probably put some distance. Come now, you needn't fear me so. Kiara, pray say something, or please say something reassuring, would you? he's as gentle as a kitten. Yes, if you say so, Kiara, then I suppose it must be true. Well, you should have, or you seem to have made a new friend. Let us see about arranging some lodgings for now, and we can discuss where to go from here. They looked like they needed help. Not sure who exactly they were or what quests they were doing off the top of my head, but it looked like they wouldn't be able to take out both of them. Hopefully I didn't hinder more than help. No. Above? No, definitely not above. So it must have been the next door or something. The poor girl was asleep within moments. This entire ordeal must have left her exhausted. As for the result of our efforts with the cargo, I suggest we continue this conversation outside. I presented our findings to the Yellow Jackets, and the evidence was indeed sufficiently damning to spark a full-scale investigation. Regretfully, it appears the assassins caught wind of the coming storm. A squad of soldiers was dispatched to the docks only to witness the merchantman sailing away with all hands on board. Not quite the outcome we'd hoped for, but at the very least they'll no longer find a warm welcome at Eorzeal's ports. The other issue we face now is what to do with the young Arya. Her breath carries the faint aroma that may account for memory loss. I suspect she was subjected to a certain incense which, when inhaled, can cloud a person's mind. The next step was likely to brand her with one of those vile sigils and effect the permanent destruction of her free will. It was fortunate that you released her when you did. Arya remains muddled, but her condition should improve with time. Hopefully, anyway. Sorry, I had to distract myself a moment. And once her memories have returned, we can learn exactly who she is and, just as importantly perhaps, the circumstances which led to her capture. I've spoken with Arya, but it seems her memory has yet to return. The incense used must have been potent indeed to create such a lasting fog. If she cannot recover naturally, then we must rely on some familiar sight or evidence or event to jolt her senses back to normalcy. Might I ask that you take her out somewhere to test my theory? She seems far more comfortable around you, after all. At the very least, I would know from whence she hails. I should call once more upon my acquaintance in the Yellow Jackets. Surely she has family who are searching for her. Kira, thank you again for letting me out of that crate. I had such a lovely sleep. All the tiredness has left me, but I still can't seem to remember anything. Outside, well, yes, I suppose a fresh breeze might help blow away the cobwebs. I think I'd like to see the view from the battlements. Will you join me up there, Kira? In this, it's not the main character that has amnesia, it is this one girl. Look, isn't it beautiful? I've never seen anything so... Is this truly the first time I'm seeing this view? I tried to remember, but my mind is a blank page. I can be sure of nothing. New memories is the better choice here. Make new memories? Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. It's almost a gift of sorts, isn't it? Being able to enjoy these things afresh. I think I'll stay up here a while longer. Just to be sure I'll remember it tomorrow. Oh, do you see that ship? How do they keep such massive things afloat? Fond of ships, are you? Yes, I am. I think I might always have been. What an insightful question. I remember when I was a child, I would always bring my uncle to... Oh, I remember! I had an uncle! It was my only family. He tried to protect me, but... Forgive me, the exact events are still a jumble, but the memory was not a pleasant one. That day, it's all coming back in a rush. Do you think we might return to the inn? I need a moment or two. The Yellow Jackets were able to dig up a report on Arya from the records, and I hurried back to share the news. But seeing as her memory on the incident has returned, I'd rather hear the tale from the source, as it were. From what I recall, I always lived with my uncle, who was a kind, gentle man who would often tell me stories of my parents. I was young when they died, too young to remember them, I think. The report mentioned that you were citizens of Limsa Lamosa. Do you remember where you were when the attack came? Yes, we were on the road to somewhere. The ambushers appeared as if from thin air. And my uncle stepped forward to shield me. They killed him. What happened after that is a blur, but my memory from that moment is crystal clear. Thank you, Arya. You needn't force yourself to remember the rest. For now, we must concern ourselves with your future. It would not be charitable to send you back to town alone, especially with significant parts of your memory still missing. Yet we cannot ask you to accompany us either. Our journey leads us on a path to confront the very cabal whose malevolent embrace you have but recently escaped. I would go with you even so. You saved my life and helped me accept the loss of my past. If there is a chance my memory could return and lead you to those villains, then I would stay at your side. How could I refuse such passion? It seems we've adopted a new companion, Kiara. The greatest challenge facing us now, however, is deciding on our next destination. The merchantman has fled, and we know not whither it is bound. The Isles of Umbra. I remember. They were the only words I heard them speak before I blacked out. Isles of Umbra. The Master calls. These puppets cannot speak idly. Ready yourself, Kiara. We cross to the Isles of Umbra and confront this master of theirs. You are well, Arya. We fight together. Are you as well, Arya? All right. The Maelstrom soldiers tell of a steady stream of tight-lipped arrivals. It would seem the master gathers all the marionettes to his side or to the Isles. I armed Arya with what I had, but a staff, so you're going to be the white mage here. I can fight. Fight? You can barely talk, lass. I thought her afraid of the mages who took her, but nay, 'tis the thought of ghosts and ghouls which have her all a tremble. Can you blame me? The very ground here feels haunted, as if angry spirits might burst forth at any moment. I like that shadowy thing behind you. Wah! There's not there, lass. And now, can we get a move on, or would you rather head back to Aleport? I'm coming with you. Yeah, it's gonna be a 2-job setup. I'll go with Black Mage instead of Red Mage, though. They are them. It's this way. I'm also able to build up my gauges. Veil Cure. I knew there was one. Okay. And duty complete. The hand that controls the assassins cannot be far. Let's split up and search, shall we? Yell if you run into trouble. Delectable. Your mortal frame brims with vital energies, an irresistible feast. Kiara, are you unharmed? Lampard, a pleasure to see you. How many years have... How the years have etched themselves upon your brow. This smirking bastard is Lampard. We were allies once. Ah, yes, the valiant crimson duelists. Such fond memories. I relished their slaughter. The duelists live on through me, traitor. And not for long, my friend. You shall soon share their fate. Kiara. Kiara. There we go. Black mage rather than white. Accrued interruptions. This is not how I wish to savor your defeat. Lambert, God damn you. You knew that man? Yes. Yes, we'll speak of it later. First, I would know where you learned to cast spells like that. I don't remember anyone teaching me. It just sort of happened. Just sort of happened. I expected you to club things with that old scepter, but or not fling balls of fire. Incredible. So, Arya, does this mean you've overcome your fear of the undead? What are you... Ah! Well, my friends, shall we return to Aleport? And now that we've unmasked the Cabal's master, I shall tell you this much. He is not a man we wish to confront unprepared. Oh, we're teleported there. Excellent. As was apparent through your unpleasant exchange, or through our unpleasant exchange, I have a history with this master of the assassins. His name is Lambard. 20 years ago, he and I were part of the group who founded the Crimson Duelists. We studied the fated teachings passed down through generations of Eurobonians, and revived the art of red-made magic as a weapon against tyranny. But one day, Lambert simply snapped. He murdered my unsuspecting comrades and vanished into the shadows. I returned from scouting alone to discover the aftermath of the massacre. It was later that I learned of his treachery had been paid for with imperial coin. But never could I find what became of the man himself. After 20 years of fruitless searching, I thought him dead. This has now become a matter of vengeance. I mean to pursue Lambert and extract a price for his betrayal. But I will not ask you to join me in this vendetta. Worry not, Kiara. Your grasp of red magic will allow you to grow without the need of a teacher. As for you, Arya, I will arrange a suitable sanctuary. I'll not turn you out to fend for yourself. I shall treasure the time we spent together, my friends. May our paths cross again. Should we let him go, or just go off alone like that? I don't know about you, but I feel my part in this is not over. Yes, Kiara. Was there something else? This is not your battle, my friend. I will deal with Lambert alone, or die in the attempt. You, I can see I am wasting my breath. You have that determined look that so impressed me the first time we met. Very well, we stand together then. You are more comrade to me now than a student, Kiara, and I welcome your sword at my side. I'm coming too. I want to help save others from this monster, just as you saved me. I want you to teach me red magic. As things stand, I'm just a burden to you. If I'm to do more than be carried along in your wake, I need my own way to make a difference. You certainly have an aptitude for the arcane. Lambert appears to target such youths for recruitment into his puppet cabal. But Kiara rescued you from that mindless fate, and now you would don the red to fight in our crusade. There's a sense of rightness in that, or to it, isn't there? Stand with us then, Arya. Join the ranks of the red mages. You look splendid, but it's more than the clothes that which make the woman. Help me train her as I trained you, Kiara. I'll pay close attention, I promise. Oh, and Arya, there'll be no more hiding behind Kiara. Is that clear? I'll try to be brave. And that was the level 56 quest. The level 58 quest is now. Lambert and his puppets are acting under Imperial orders, that much is certain. Ever since we thwarted the attempt on Master Willikin. However, it would seem they have abandoned him as a target. The merchant's life is not worth all the assassins who cost him, I'd wager. But it will only be a matter of time before the Cabal is given new prey to hunt. I've called in a favor with a friend to investigate possible targets, and he's agreed to meet us at Hawker's Round in Limsa Lamosa. Alright, so This fine gentleman is Riol, a former member of the Company of Heroes. He's been helping us with our investigation since before we left for Ailport. The two of you have met, I take it. Good to see you. Good to see you too, lass. Master Red Breeches here didn't mention ye was on the road together. Anyrow, let's get straight to business. I did some digging into that floating fortress of your cabal. The merchantman dabbles in a bit of trading to keep up the charade, so I started paying attention to where the goods ended up. And I think I'll find that Lambert gets his orders from the Imperial base in northern Thenolan. Cassia Meridum. That's your best bet, I reckon. You are a treasure, Riol. I'll pass on any new information we manage to uncover. For the now, though, consider the favor repaid in full. Kiara, Arya, to the drowning wench. Right. We have our destination, so let's discuss the objectives. We need to storm Cassia Midrium and locate the documentation on Lambard's next target. A poor choice of words, perhaps. To clarify, one of us will provide a diversion while the other two slip inside and rifle through desks until we find what we are looking for. Better? Kiara, you will be our decoy. Draw away as many of their sentries as you can and buy us the time we need. Arya, we will run you through some practice exercises. I see you have been honing your skills on various beasts, but this will be your first battle against thinking opponents, yes? Very well. Make your preparations, my friends. We meet at Roban's Push. Now, the easy way to take care of all of this is actually go into Actions and Traits, General, return to Gridania, and then we'll travel from there to Roban's Push, which is south of the Corthus Highlands. Bit of a roundabout trek, yes, but Central Shroud to Black Shroud. This is the Southern Shroud. We will be going to the Northern Thenolen, the desert. Because Raban's push is just north of that, the fortress that is from the southern approach to northern Thinolen. Okay. Northern Finland. All right, there we go. There it is. Okay, so it's further along than I thought. Right, just as we planned, Kira, do your best to become the center of Imperial attention. Arya, you're with me. Once inside, we'll split up to hasten our search, so steel yourself for run-ins with patrols. I hope I'm ready for this. Just keep your head and you'll be fine. You've not quite reached Kiara's level of skill, but your offensive magics are, to be quite honest, terrifyingly powerful. Your restorative arts, on the other hand, well, let me just say that the scales swing both ways. They think on it, Alice lacked balance in much the same manner. There must be something in the blood, but rarely have I met such an extreme case as you. And not to worry, we will work on your weaker aspects until you find an equilibrium, such as the key to excelling in red magic. Now, let us set to work. Head around to the front of the base and make a nuisance of yourself, Kiara. With the growth you've shown, I'm certain you can handle whatever those Imperials throw at you. We'll be sneaking in from the back side while you hold their attention. Please try not to fight all of them at once. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, there's Vercure. For future reference. Well, then that seems to be all of them. You don't do things by halves, do you, my friend? I could hear the commotion from the other side of the wall. Our foe was so focused on your battle, I dare say we could have walked out with the entire shelf of records. As things stand, however, we contented ourselves with the knowledge of Lambard's forthcoming operations. There is much to discuss. I suggest we withdraw to the cerulean plant that we might converse in relative safety. But it would seem the experience has taken a toll on poor Arya. Are you able to walk, my dear? I see the color has returned to your cheeks, Arya. Do you feel any better? Much better, thank you. I may have been pushing too hard to perfect my white magics. From what I witnessed, I'd say you have much work yet ahead of you. Keep at it. I will. Let us return to the subject at hand, shall we? We uncovered documents dealing with the Empire's deployment of the Cabal, and it is much as we surmised. The Cabal's assassins spirit away youths with arcane aptitudes, much like our Arya here, and deliver them to Lambard for branding. Once the cursed sigil has destroyed their wills, he fills their empty minds with lethal thaumaturgy, and conditions them to follow his every command. It seems, however, that the formation of the Cabal itself was a relatively recent development. Lambard received Imperial orders to organize his puppets into an expendable force of fearless, unswaveringly loyal cult of assassins that could strike against resistance supporters in lands beyond the Empire's reach. This plan, as well as Lambard's involvement, was proposed by the Crown Prince himself as a champion who brought Xenos to justice. I am sure you are familiar with the man's reputation for cold brutality. Aside from his mastery of red magic, Lambert is well versed in ancient spells and rituals. Doubtless this knowledge coupled with his singular lack of moral character, did much to curry the favor of a monster such as Xenos. And now we come to the Cabal's next assignment. I could scarce believe my own eyes even as I read the details of the operation. Lambard's next target is Garland Ironworks. Aye, the company of engineers founded by the great Sid Garland. As a sanctuary for Imperial defectors, the Ironworks has long drawn the ire of the Empire, and if that wasn't reason enough, the company has also begun sharing engineering secrets with the Alamegan Resistance. To my knowledge, this will be the highest profile enemy the Cabal has ever been deployed against. But the operation will not target Sid himself. They have a far more effective method in mind. The plan is to assassinate Garland's senior staff, and the name at the top of the list was Jesse, his deputy president. Sid's ideas cannot be brought to fruition without a talented team of engineers, and the organization itself grind to a halt without Jesse's expertise. Her loss would be a dark day for Eorzea indeed. I've communicated the details of the planned assassination to the Ironworks. Unlike Master Willikin's case, however, Lambert has been ordered to succeed at any cost. He will keep sending his killers until the deed is done, or we put a stop to the Cabal for good. And that means bringing down Lambert himself. Kiara, Arya, I will need your aid. Sharpen your swords and ready your spells, for we are going to war. I'm going to take just a moment to have a quick bio break and let my dog outside, apparently. I will also take a short pause between this and my next set of stuff, so I will be right back. And I am back. Oh, no, not that. There we go. All right. And we're going to get Manification. Lambard will be preparing to move on the Garland Ironworks. According to the plans we reviewed, they know that Jesse is scheduled to accompany a delivery to the Alamegan Resistance. The ambush itself will be sprung on the outskirts of Revenant's Toll as she makes her way to a waiting airship. It should be a simple matter to lie in wait in Mordona and take the ambushers and Lambard by surprise. Our success, of course, will hinge on Jessie's cooperation. And I've arranged to meet her to hammer out the finer details. Pray, travel ahead to Revenant's Toll, and we will find you on the terrace above Rowan's House of Splendors. Alright, now we fly. I'm sorry, were you looking for me? I just felt more comfortable waiting in the corner. Oh, they're here. Right, I've heard all about this big plan to murder me. I'm surprised no one's tried it before, considering how the company starts to fall apart the very instant I leave the room. Any rate, I understand that you and Miss Frostborn are in charge of keeping me alive while I make my merry way to the airship. Is that correct? The Lambard's been instructed to bring his entire cabal to bear on this operation. As long as they've no hint that we're onto their plans, then we stand a chance of wiping out the lot of them. I only wish we could manage it without exposing you to danger. Maybe we could, if I pretend to be Jesse. Dress you up as the deputy president. That's actually a rather clever idea. Let's get this girl a costume then. I'm not afraid to act as bait, but when push comes to shove, I'll only be in your way. I need to do something about that hair. There we go. From a distance, no one will be able to tell the difference. It's just up close you're a bit short. Stretch it out by a column or so. Stretch me out? I'm only pulling your leg, lass. I appreciate what you're doing for me. If you're ever in need of a favor, I'll be happy to pay you back in kind. The Ironworks airship will soon arrive at the cliffs outside town. Arya will make for the vessel whilst pretending to be Jessie, and you, Kiara, will act as her bodyguard. We still have a little time until the airship is scheduled to depart. Make whatever preparations you need. Then meet me by the Aetheryte. The time has come. The Ironworks airship makes ready to depart, and our battle with the traitorous Lambert fast approaches. There is, however, one thing I have never been able to reconcile. Why did Lambert sell his soul to the Empire? He was the duelist's most brilliant scholar, and not the kind of man who would betray his homeland for vulgar coin. I was baffled when I heard the Empire had bought his loyalty. But no matter his reasons, the crime he committed was unforgivable, and we shall bring him to justice. Let us see the deed done, my friends. To the southeast gate. Alright, here we go. The benefit is, or the reward is going to be insanely useful. This is it. Arya, take the path towards North Silvertier and keep up the pretense as best you can. The airship is waiting near the Keeper of the Lake, but we can be sure the assassins will make their move before you arrive. Kira, it will be up to you to protect Jessie on the road. Rather than let them flank us, I will intercept the large group meant to fall upon you from the south. You continue to surprise me with the potency of your own offensive magics, Arya. With the progress you've shown, I have little doubt you could hold your own against one or two of these mindless assassins. But I must ask that you do not engage in combat unless absolutely necessary. The goal is to lure Lambert himself into the fray, and our charade must be convincing. Kiara should be more than a match for his puppet underlings. I've no doubt of that. Right then, off I go. That was some battle. Are you ready to continue on? I'll go ahead as before. So easy. Hello? Yes, Kiara's defeated every ambush so far. Very good. I've just finished mopping up the flanking group and will take up position near the airship. We continue with the charade for now. Make to board the airship as planned. Kiara and I will conceal ourselves nearby until Lambert makes his move. He should have a few of his puppets left. And will be forced, or he should have few of his puppets left, and should be forced to take action directly. That's when we strike together. Did you hear all that, Kiara? Let's keep moving then. Right, level sync to level 62. So for those that are over-leveled, it is still a slightly easier trek. What have we here? An impostor? 'Twould seem I've fallen victim to a child's ploy. Your cabal is in ruins, Lambert, and this time you'll face the consequences of your crimes. But first I must know, why did you turn coat for the Empire after all we had achieved together? Still the same simple one. The same tiresome idealist. Your point. How many lives did we save, you and I? And what did that truly accomplish? The ancient art of red magic is capable of so much more. A red mage restricts the source of his mana, but accelerates the effect of his spells via the medium of his own physical form. And what would befall such a mage who then attempted the same technique whilst channeling the vast ethereal energies of nature? A fool's endeavor. The wielder would be consumed. Just so. And there we see the true potential of the art. Imagine the incredible powers we could unleash were we not caged within these prisons of flesh. It was in the wisdom of the ancients that I discovered the means to transcend our limits, the method to transform one's vessel and command even grander magics. The price to be paid, however, was a costly one. Restructuring my body required years upon years spent in arcane slumber. And was it worth it to surrender that which makes you mortal? I freed myself from my chains. I now command energies greater than any found in the black or the white or the red. The Crimson Duelists were merely my first step towards greatness. Noble sacrifices for a greater cause. You damnable fiend! My art is unfettered by weak-minded taboos. You cannot best me with your feeble red magics. Never once did I lose a duel to you. This day will be no different. Always were the better fighter. I barely succeeded in giving you a scratch. But a single scratch is all I need. You see, as a consequence for my transformation, my strength lies not in harming your body, but in draining your spirit. Once I've wounded you, your life force belongs to me. You... No. Well, you yet draw breath, but not for long. I shall send you to Thal's realm with the answer to your question, my reason for joining the Empire. My new form allows me to wield spells of a magnitude denied to ordinary mortals, but I must feed. If I fail to consume sufficient life energies, then I am afflicted with a terrible hunger. My work as an assassin provided me with fresh prey, an ideal environment within which to pursue my research. I am eternally grateful for Tisinos for his rare and generous understanding. You speak of achievements, but the constraints of red magic offered naught but frustration. And now, after 2 decades of fruitless resistance, is your struggle finally over? My friends, you must flee. This is far from over. Students of red magic, are you? Well, come then, show me how you resist the advent of your own destruction. man. I am low on mana and cannot cast any more spells. Okay. Duty failed because Arya died. Okay. So close. is the vulnerability of it. And the Arya keeps going close to him and getting into the red circle of death. Put a more permanent structure between me and his approach. That was not successful. We are hoping this will get closer. Oh, we failed. What? No! I was going good and then I got stuck. Fine, we're going to very easy, I don't care. Okay. You are gonna get hit by this, and that's... You're not gonna get hit. We have it on very easy and actually winning. I would like to point out, I was not the problem. AI standing in the splash zone of the AoE attacks is the problem. My comrades, you are champions of the red. You mustn't try to move. I am not dead yet, lass. Though it was nice that you thought to avenge me. What a miserable pair we make. The last of the Crimson Duelists, staining the ground scarlet with our own blood. I cannot even claim this final vengeance as mine. That honor goes to my students. But there lies the difference between you and me. Lambard, your puppets follow your commands without question, but they'll not carry on your legacy after they're gone. Is that what 20 years of struggle has taught you? I admit, the sense of justice with which you inflict others has delivered your victory this day, at least. But the fates are known for their spiteful twists of fortune. Take this aria of yours. I'm fine. It was a trying battle is all. This will be the injustice which breaks you. Or will this be the injustice which breaks you? A pity I will miss your suffering. Lambert knew something, and it seemed to amuse him. Are you truly all right? I feel much recovered, honestly. We should return to Revenant's Toll. Random mount is the Claw. Still an effort to remain upright, but I believe I'll live. Seeing how you countered the technique which felled me was a proud moment indeed. You and Arya make a fine team. I expect the Deputy President will be along shortly. have my thanks. Had you not uncovered this plot, I would almost certainly be dead now. It's quite a sobering thought. It is Kiara and Arya who most deserve your gratitude. I was busy bleeding to death while the two of them vanquished the assassin's master. Is that so? Well then, feel free to send the bill for any expenses incurred on the operation to Sid himself. With Lambert death, so too will his cabal of assassins cease to plague us. For much of my life, I have lived with failure. The loss of my homeland, my inability to prevent the calamity, but I chose to fight on in the face of these defeats. It has taken 2 decades to right the wrongs of my past. Yet finally have I managed a tangible victory for my home, for Eorzea. You have made this possible. Thank you, my students, my comrades. That was Heaven's Word, and the next one requires an appropriate level that we have, but we will not take it on yet. Instead, with Black Mage at level 60, we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Which means we are heading back to Ul'dah. We'll also be taking a break soon to swap out batteries for the controller, as well as to grab some food and take care of my dog. Even with the double coat, I don't want him staying outside too long in the heat. That's the plan, at least. Once we reach Ul'dah, we will call it for a bit while I get some food. Actually, That honestly took longer than I thought it would. Overall. What about where I want to call it? I guess Red Mage and Dark Knight will take the appropriate amount of time for that. Just like Astrologian did, really. Although Astrologian, we had another one afterwards as well. But my primary focus is going to be on the magics. It's going to be the main focus for the character themselves, and is going to really be the biggest point on the character. There are achievements. Mastering War and Mastering Magic. We got the Paragon Crown. Got Grandmaster of Magic. This one is something we will get soon, as we'll be getting everything to level 60 soon enough. Level 70 is where we will get exactly the one we want. Alright, so next week we will be tackling the Dark Mage quest line. The Dark Knight quest line. I got Mage and Knight mixed up. I had to consider the possibilities and everything before deciding, but I have Dark Knight at 60 and we haven't really done any of the quest lines for that. So we'll tackle that next. Afterwards, we will probably focus mostly on the magic-oriented ones, being Red Mage and Black Mage, getting them to 70, doing the Red Mage class jobs, or job quests. Words are weird. Bear with me because words are weird. But for now, let's go ahead and call it for today. I hope you had a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever you're up to, whenever you're up to it, wherever you're up to it, however you're up to it, and whoever you're up to it with. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure to drop me a follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to drop me a like, comment, and subscribe down below. No matter the site, no matter the time, hit that bell for notifications. And check out my Discord for a go live notification and to vote on things like what game I play next, what kind of character I make, add some chaos to my streams. It makes things more fun. And if you're watching on YouTube and you liked my stuff and you want to see more, right here in the middle is my entire channel. And with so much there, you probably don't know where to start, so here on the right's a playlist of me playing a different game entirely. It's as good a place as any. And if my stuff wasn't for you, but you stuck around anyway, here on the left's a video YouTube thinks you will like. Stay safe, stay happy, stay crazy. Bye.